He's not exactly consistent and hasn't been throughout his whole career. So which way do you mark him going into a race like this?
Well, I mark him as consistent because he's more frustrating than consistent because he throws the flashing light above his head every time. That you want to be on him, but he never wins. You know, he has amassed 115,000 in prize money and he has won 14 races, but he has the potential and ability to be so much better than what he's produced on the track. He's average away. He's, you know, very strong in the run home. He can run low 29 seconds at Sandown. He can run low 34 seconds at Sandown. He's got everything. He just doesn't win out of turn. So he's one thing with him, Jace, and he's always short in the market for mine. You know, he doesn't win out of turn, but he's always goes around $3 or $4. So when he's taking that bigger market percentage as a punter, I'm always happy to somewhat oppose him. So I've kind of gone with him in my numbers here tonight, but I've gone him in the minor end of money once again. So I've settled on 3, 5, 1 and 7. I've gone 3 on top, Read the Room. I think it can improve from its runners-up effort here last week in 30 and 24. It might be able to get across to the front. I think second time here under race circumstances. It might be able to lead a tricky race, and that might be a favourable place to be. Succeeding for second. We know the ability. We know he's going to be flashing home. He just doesn't win out of turn and always takes a big market percentage. Number 1, Poor Ernest in for third. Another one of these get back run home types. I think the rails draw in the Meadows suit him quite well. For fourth, I've put in the other run home dog, Poor Yasmin. 640 metres sail, back to 525, a slight question mark, but was recently in the Hume Cup in Group 1 level not too long ago. 3, 5, 1 and 7, what looks a tricky affair.
So Nathan Rooney with the speed in Read the Room. He will go forward and lead, and number 5, Succeed. I mean, win, lose or draw will be a big run. Race 6 here at the Meadows on Silver Chief Night. Here's James.
2 of the quaddie, race number 6. Favourite now, 380, Poor Ernest off the inside will run the favourite elect ahead of Succeed. Just where does he get to from the sticky alley there? Just about set. And now they're all in, so the green light set to go now. Race 6 at the Meadows. They're set. And they're racing. Poor Ernest only fair out. Read the Room. Time the start. Went straight across the lead, settling down over Kiwi J, who clipped over heels at the first corner. There was a little bit of trouble and the leaders get away. It's Read the Room from Kiwi J, who moved up quickly. 5 lengths away. Hot Scotch outside of Poor Ernest starting to make ground. Then Fernando Duke from Succeed off with a loop over Poor Yasmin and McCarlis at the end. As they pack up, it's Poor Ernest serving it up to Read the Room. Succeed's about to run on late. Poor Ernest had moved up, takes the lead, draws clear, and it's Poor Ernest to win it by a length and a half. Read the Room. Succeed made ground late, third ahead of Kiwi J, and then Fernando Duke back behind runners from Poor Yasmin, McCarlis, and it was one of the last to clock in there. Time for the journey, 30 and 21 for Poor Ernest.
30 and 21 for Poor Ernest, as we just heard from the great man and the best vegetarian in greyhound racing in James Vandermark. But Poor Ernest, Nath, he stalked the speed of Read the Room and was too strong in the end. Yeah, like we touched on pre-race and we watched that replay pre-race, Jace, I think inside draws at the Meadows really suited him better than his runs at Sandown, and he was able to hug the fence through the catching pen, come out of the catching pen in third position. He had the leaders in Read the Room and Kiwi J, the two that we identified being up front and cutting the speed, and then he was always going to be too strong in the run to the line. Read the Room was able to get across in the early section. Kiwi J clipped off hills, was able to post a couple of lengths break, but then wasn't strong enough in the run to the line. I thought it might have improved on the 30 and 24 run, but once again ran around that 30 and 30 mark. So just not quite seeing out a strong 500, but the early speed really puts her in good stead. Succeed, as Succeed does, gets back, flashes home, eye-catching run. Once again, doesn't win though, and takes a massive market percentage. And Kiwi J stepped up in class and was on speed throughout and quite a good run. So I think that greyhound, the question mark I had over it, Jace, going into the race was coming out of mixed grade 6 and 7 company into a genuine mixed grade 4 and 5 company. But no, full of merit, that run there for Kiwi J. Would have led quite clearly if Read the Room wasn't in the race. So the run home dogs got the better of the two speedy dogs in the run to the line, and Poor Ernest really enjoyed box 1 at the Meadows, where he's had pretty good success. He brought up win number 2 at start number 6 with a couple of minors here now at the Broad Meadows circuit over the 525 trip. Geez, Hot Scotch wanted to get off the track bad. Is that normal for him?
Yeah, he does. He likes running to the middle part of the track, and he's a greyhound. Even though I reckon he's going quite well for trainer Ian Dan, he's a greyhound that needs to lead to show his best. And there was a lot of pace, as we identified, with Kiwi J, Read the Room, and McCarlis in box 6. So he was most probably the meat in the sandwich, and when he gets that pressure, he wants to be outside a dog. So he's a greyhound going well. Look for him maybe, in a provincial meeting at the Meadows or Sandown where he can dictate from the front, because that in recent times when we've seen the best of Hot Scotch going forward.
Okay, so at the halfway point here at the Meadows on Silver Chief Night, the next is race 7, which is the first of the Grade 5 heats over 600 metres, and probably didn't demand the normal quality, Nate, you'd expect for a sort of city heat and final over 600 metres?
Most probably not. They're typically very good. We've seen through the Hume Cup Series and that these 600 metre events have really taken, to some high quality runners stepping up. We don't really get to see that in this next race, but we do have dogs like Fred Rose who are proven campaigners at free-for-all level at both metropolitan tracks. So he looks to have a strong stranglehold in the next if he can do everything right. But he's another runner that doesn't quite win out of turn, Fred. You never know what Fred's going to rock up. Sometimes he can ping to the front, and other times he can be slow to begin. But he's been a genuine free-for-aller, and he finds himself in a Grade 5 heat, which, with a dog of his ability, looks very well placed.
Yeah, indeed, for Fred Rose, and we love seeing him over 600 metres as well. I mean, his whole career has basically screamed that he's ready to do that, and because he's been so good over 500 and been producing good results in good races, we've had to wait for that, but it seems to be the right point in his career for him to step up.
Yeah, well, he's had a couple of looks recently around the 640 at Sale, and he most probably didn't quite run out a strong 640 at